There's one thing abundantly clear about the Steven Crowder, Ethan Klein debacle. Steven Crowder is a coward.
I always respect people who enter into the arena. And we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time because a lot of people haven't.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me, you said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that.
And I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. Now, some of you may be like, hey, Steven Crowder's not a coward. I like him. I'm not disputing. I'm not going to say he's not entertaining. I'm not going to say he's not popular. I'm not going to say he's not smart. I'm not even going to say he was on the wrong side of the issue he was about to debate. But what I will show you is throughout this whole thing, there is a problem. So stay tuned and hear me out. If you disagree with me, you can feel free to hit the thumbs down button, but don't just hit the thumbs down button. Hit the thumbs down button and tell me why you disagree with me after you've heard me out. So here's the situation. Steven Crowder invited Ethan Klein on his show to debate, presumably about, just listening to the experts. And I listened to the crafting of his argument, and the crafting of his argument didn't sound unreasonable. In fact, the crafting of his argument actually made me say, you know what? He might be right. When I heard the way he phrased his argument and his side of of his position on the debate, I'm like, how can you dispute that? It doesn't seem very logical or very likely that anyone with sense could dispute that. I guarantee you people will, but in my opinion, they'd probably be wrong. So it was interesting to see that Ethan Klein, who admittedly, and by his own admission, was not a very good debater, who by his admission is not intelligent. That's what he said. He's not too smart. He says he doesn't really know politics like that. He's really not well versed in these issues, which actually gives some insight. Because if he is taking a position on various things, that's something that you should be taking into consideration. So he has over 3 million followers. And the people that follow him should be using that to take a grain of salt when listening to his political opinions. If he is admittedly saying, yeah, well, I'm not really well versed in politics. Okay, then why are you listening to this guy for political, advice? You can find him entertaining. You can say, okay, this guy is great to watch. I like the way he entertains and does things. But when it comes to political advice, you could say, I'll go with somebody who knows what they're talking about. Cool. And I think that's a fair critique that Steven Crowder could have made of him. However, for some reason, Steven Crowder invited him on the show to debate him on political issues. And Steven Crowder acknowledged that this guy is a lightweight. He says, I'm just going to dunk on this guy. Normally I debate, people who are well versed in the issues, intelligentsia type people. He's like, but this is going to be a cakewalk. And it probably would have. However, that's not what Ethan Klein ultimately had in mind. I don't know when he came up with the plan, but at some point in time, he decided that instead of himself debating Steven Crowder, he would have Sam Seder do it. Now, there's some people who know Sam Seder. There are some people who don't know Sam Seder because they're fans of Steven Crowder, who has a bigger platform. Steven Crowder has over 5 million subscribers on YouTube. Sam Seder has 1.8 million. So, admittedly, there are people who may not know who Sam Seder is, but let me tell you, if you don't know who he is, you should know. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. This is a guy you should be familiar with. Because if you are somebody who follows political analysis, if you are somebody who listens to politics, studies politics, or at least acknowledges the importance of politics on all of our lives, Sam Seder is definitely somebody you'll want to know. Why? Because Sam Seder is one of the best debaters, one of the best and most skilled pundits from the left. One of. And like, he is one of the individuals that I actually did a video about him some time ago. In fact, you can check it out up here. But what I did was, in that video, I talked about how if you're going to debate Sam Seder, you better come correct. Sam Seder hates libertarians. He absolutely hates libertarians. I don't even think that his positions are always, and I don't even think he makes arguments in good faith. I think he uses all sorts of rhetorical tricks, but that's part of his skill. I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying he's skilled. That's why you should know who he is. And that's why you should be able to debate him if you're going to, present a position on the issues, because he's going to have his own position. And I think it's critical for us to be willing to debate our ideas, because the people, the vast majority of people out there are just too busy to be able to follow all of the nuance. So it's up to us who believe in any particular political ideology to be able to bring the message to them and to let them know, okay, listen, this is why I believe this particular position on the issue is a good one. That's the job. If you have a stance, if you're, on a particular, in a particular lane, whether you're right or left or other, be prepared to defend your ideas. And if you're not prepared, be willing to defend your ideas. But like I said, Sam Seder is a very skilled debater. He's somebody not to take lightly. That being said, when Ethan Klein made it clear that he was not going to be handling this debate, Sam Seder was, Steven Crowder and his co-host began talking and yelling towards one another to drown out Sam Seder's voice.
There he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave, remember I told you? I said, I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Oh, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with, mental health issues.
Steven,
Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own
I
fighting.
gotta say,
It's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
That you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made
Yes,
at the beginning of
Joe
this
Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Ben
Rubin
and Dave
Ben
Rubin and Jordan
Shapiro.
Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting
Sam
to get
Seder.
your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Stephen, I mean, it's about issues. Let's
about
talk
issues,
about those
yeah.
issues.
That's
I
what
think
you're
that's
doing
some
here.
valid
Yeah.
points.
You're
that
so
I think we
clever.
should
I had no
discuss.
idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts
I
eyes.
wish every
I mean, it was like, I was like, wow, really? What do you kind of, it reeked of fear. It reeked of desperation. And I know a lot of people are saying, I've actually looked online and saw some people defending Steven Crowder, saying, oh, that was a bait and switch. Oh, he shouldn't have, he agreed to debate Ethan, not Sam Seder. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Does he think he can beat Sam Seder? Or is he afraid? Because the simple fact is, whether he agreed to debate Sam Seder or not, the question is he willing to? Because even if he says, okay, I do want to debate you, Sam Seder, but about some issue, I wasn't prepared to debate that issue at this point in time, we'll set something up. That would have been great. That would have been awesome. Because I would like to see leaders, thought leaders, on all sides of issues being prepared and able to defend their ideas. That's the point. If you're unwilling to defend your ideas, I or anybody else who's watching you has got to ask the question, a couple of questions. One, do you really believe what you claim to believe? Two, do you have any evidence or any foundation to support what you're proposing to believe in? These are simple questions, because if you really believe it, if you have foundation, why are you unwilling to debate somebody who has knowledge and skill to debate an opposing position? You should be willing to, especially if you're going to be a thought leader in the space. The rest of us should be able to have the ability to say, wait a minute, I support this politician, I support this political policy for this reason. because these policies that we're talking about affect our lives. So we should have some kind of reason and know why we're supporting any given policy or any given politician. But I get what people are saying when they're like, okay, it was a bait and switch. Yes, it was definitely a bait and switch. Was Ethan scared? Absolutely. Ethan said it repeatedly. Yeah, I'm not prepared for this debate. I'm not skilled. Like I don't have the skill to debate Steven Crowder. He acknowledged that. He fully acknowledged that and accepted that. So you may be thinking that I'm saying Steven Crowder is a coward for not debating Sam Seder. And yes, I do think that is cowardly. Even though he wasn't scheduled to debate Sam Seder, even though, like he said, I'm not obligated to debate you, you're not owed my time. Right. But like I said, it's not about Sam Seder at this point. It should be about your audience. It should be about the fact that your audience believes in certain positions, and you should be able to give them the opportunity to witness how your ideas and the ideas that they believe in and the ideas that you're promoting, how these ideas stand up against opposition. And if you truly believe in these ideas, then you won't have a problem going up against skillful, knowledgeable, and dangerous opposition. Like, you will not just pick some rando off the street and say, hey, okay, I beat somebody who watched MSNBC this morning and they believe, the minimum wage is a good idea. They've never read any work. They've never done any research, but I beat them in an argument. So that means I'm the king of the world. Yes. I'm awesome. Like, no. When you're able to debate somebody that actually knows the issue, then you've done something. When you're able to debate and defeat somebody who actually knows the issue, then you've done something.
Showing your little leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your sidekick.
Come on, Ethan, why do you have to bring on a
Show
guy
Steven.
who's 30th of the viewership?
Why are
of
you-
this show?
Saddest thing I've ever heard. So you have a
Just
guy
show
with
Steven.
less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't.
Well, obviously,
Why
if
don't
I'm
you
a
get some-
Apparently he had to think
obviously
about it,
I'm
bro.
if I'm a layup
Yeah,
and
you
not a
had to think
debater.
about it.
Well, look,
Yeah,
you're the
I
one
mean,
who called. You're the one who got
Steve
started
the one that got angry about
Show
it.
Steven. Don't be
Hold on
such a
second. All right,
coward.
hold on a second. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
Show
But
Steven.
Ethan, look, I don't. Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially
Thank
I came
you.
on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Seder is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just
What's
like
the
you
lie?
claiming my Ethan.
What's the
You
lie?
claiming my
What's the
booker
lie,
reached
Stephen?
out to you, Ethan, when you know
Stephen,
that's
what's the
not
lie?
true. There's no
What's
one
the
ducking
lie?
you,
Why
Sam.
are you
I've
so
never
afraid?
Sam,
Yeah, listen, I think you're a smart
I can
guy.
call out
I
Mike
don't
Tyson.
understand why
It doesn't mean that I'm
you are
ducking him.
so worried about this.
Why do you
I
feel that?
honestly
Why do you feel
don't.
that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the
I
show
don't think anybody
for 10
owes me
times as longer?
airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't
Right.
ask him for it, and
Right.
so
No, you've been begging
the
for
real
it for a long
question
time
is,
with everyone
Stephen,
bigger than
why
yourself.
Are you so
he found
worried
He
about
can't build an
engaging with me?
audience, and so what
Why
happens is
are
he
you
uploads
so
15
worried about-
times more,
Do you think
has
your
less than a
audience
50th of the
says-
audience.
Well, that's
Do
why
you
he wants to
think that your
debate you, is so he
audience-
can build his.
Sam,
Do you
Sam,
think
come on.
your audience
Yeah,
cares
yeah.
that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million
I think,
subscribers?
let me
But there's several things that he did in his, rant. At one point he says, Sam Seder has just the 30th of his following. And I'm like, no math. No, that's not quite correct. Then it was 40th of his following. And I was like, okay, still no math, still not correct. And then it was a 50th of his following. And I'm like, yeah, I still know math. And I still know that's not right. And you may be thinking, okay, no, he meant percent. But I know math. And I know that a 30th is very different from 30%. See, because 30% is 30%. A 30th is 3.3333%. Very different numbers, very different. 50% is 50%. A 50th is 2%. So no, he knew exactly what he was doing when he was using a 30th, a 40th, or 50th instead of 30, 40, 50%. Because had he been talking about percentages, the numbers wouldn't have been going up. Because Steven Crowder, with his over 5 million subscribers is more than twice the amount of subscribers of Sam Seder. It's about 5 times more. So if you had wanted to say 20%, okay, he has 20% and a fifth. He has a fifth of the amount of subscribers, which is very different from a 30th, which is very different from a 40th, which is very different from a 50th. He has a fifth. He has 20% approximately of your subscribers. That's 1 million subscribers is not something to sneeze at. But if that's your claim, you're not going to debate him because he's not large enough. The question is, wait, so are you actually a believer in these issues? Or are you just a showman? You're just putting on a show? Because that sounds like right then and there, you're making it sound like it's a grift. If the only reason you wanted to debate Ethan is because he had more subscribers, that means you're just doing this to improve, to gain your base, to build your base, to build your subscribership, to get your numbers up. So you're just grifting. Like, you're not interested in getting to the truth of the matter, and that's why you chose somebody who doesn't know how to debate and isn't well versed in politics. And ultimately, that's where the cowardice comes in. Not as much in him running from Sam Seder, which is an act of cowardice, but the true sign of cowardice came in the fact that he wanted to debate somebody that he knew couldn't fight back. He knew wasn't prepared, because he wanted to debate somebody that was going to be an easy romp and that would make him look good. That's what makes Steven Crowder a coward. That is why I have to look at him and say, this dude deserves no respect. But if you like his content, and you still want to watch him, go ahead. My only suggestion to you is don't take anything he says seriously, because clearly he is not a serious individual. Thank you for checking out this episode. As always, give me the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. And if you disagree with what I said, like I said, feel free to give me the thumbs down if you choose to. But don't forget to put it in the comment section why, so that I can address it in the future, or in the future video, or in the comment section. Thank you for checking this out. I'll see you next time.